We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets casket is got. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Get your check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
Welcome back. It's FantasyFling with DFS Army. We're doing a week 4 cash lineup review. Hope cashed. We did a DFS Army, so let's go ahead and jump into what we did that worked this week. All right, so first going to go over to the chalkboard. Now, this is a tool that you have access to if you are a DFS Army subscriber. This kind of helps piece together your lineup, specifically in cash games. We want to see what is the field doing, what are the good plays, and oftentimes if you just go to the chalkboard, the good plays are spelled out for you. That's why they are chalk. So, for example, the top 2 quarterbacks, the top 3 really that were top, I would say Fields would be in there too, but Josh Allen, Anthony Richardson, Justin Herbert, and really Fields, these were your cash game quarterbacks. Fields really just because the matchup and because he was looking to be chalk, and obviously he smashed, but really the top 2 guys were going to be Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson. And, you know, Anthony Richardson coming back from injury at a discount and just absolutely smashing so far. So he did it again. Obviously, Josh Allen broke the slate, him and Stephon Diggs. That stack is really what won everything this past Sunday. But obviously, you want high floor, and both of these quarterbacks right here, they have a high floor with their rushing ability and obviously big play ability, specifically with Josh Allen. So a quarterback, pretty spelled out for you. You go to running back, kind of the same thing, right? Top 2 running backs on the slate, Kyren Williams and Christian McCaffrey. It was too good of a matchup for Christian McCaffrey going against an Arizona team where they were 10-point favorites. And with Eli Mitchell out, you know that he was probably going to get even more looks than normal. So he smashed. And then obviously he was the pay up option, and Kyren Williams too. So he'd been getting the bulk of the carries, looked good. Same thing. He ended up getting all the tutties in this one, scored 30 points. So a couple other guys that were, you know, cash game plays for me, Tony Pollard. He didn't get there, but he still had double-digit points. And we're going to get into kind of my cash lineup and how it really didn't matter. But nonetheless, these were the top guys at running back. And so with the chalkboard, you kind of just piece together your cash lineup. So you're going to go over here. You're like, okay, so if I get this quarterback, then I could afford Christian McCaffrey. I could afford Kyren Williams. You know, I could probably afford like a Keenan Allen. And then, you know, look at who are these guys who are cheaper, but are chalk and we know are getting a lot of targets, like a Tank Dell, like a Josh Palmer per se. So Keenan Allen was the top pay up option. It just was a kind of a down week for him. But he still scored like 12 points. So if that's a down week, I will certainly take that. Puka Nacua, same thing. This guy has been leading the league in targets. He's top 5 in yards. He was even before this game. So just really good cash play at 6,700. Devontae Adams, you know, kind of had a dud, but he still had double-digit points with Aiden O'Connell in there. And then Adam Thielen, great cash play at 4,500. Believe he was in the winning Millie Maker build. You know, didn't smash, but wasn't bad either at 4,500. And then Stephon Diggs, really, this was the top cash play at wide receiver. He was chalk. It was a great game environment. So this is kind of how you're going to want to piece together your lineup just by looking at the chalkboard. And let's go ahead and take a look at kind of where the cash line was. So it was about 153 points. And what you'll see here, Russell Wilson, this was a good matchup for Denver going against Chicago. Russell Wilson is actually, outside of the first game of the season, really did quite well fantasy wise. He had 3 touchdowns in this one. It was a good matchup. And as we saw on the chalkboard, he actually was one of the higher owned quarterbacks on the slate. So Russell Wilson. And then, with that discount, this lineup was able to get Christian McCaffrey, who really was the difference maker at 9,200. I don't love this lineup. I don't love the James Cook play. Wasn't bad. Don't love it. But other than that, I feel like it was a pretty solid build with Christian McCaffrey and Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Freiermuth, Kyron Williams. These were at Tank Dell. These were a lot of the chalk guys, obviously. And that's what you want to do in cash games. You want to eat chalk. They're not always going to work out. But like, for example, Tank Dell, he was 29% owned. He only scored 3 points, but almost a third of the field had him. So it really didn't hurt you. Same thing with Freiermuth. I mean, look at this, 37%, but he got hurt. So, he might have had 10 points if he didn't get hurt. Who knows? But when you have that safety net of the chalk, it's not really going to hurt you. Kyron Williams obviously smashed. So this was pretty good cash lineup. Not too bad. Let's kind of look for some maybe mistakes that you don't want to make in cash. So some of these lineups that did not cash, did they just get unlucky? Because sometimes that happens. People will DM me and, sometimes I'll look at their lineup and I'll be like, yeah, it was just bad variance. Your defense, you pay down a defense and your defense got 1 point and there was a defense that really went off. So sometimes you just get unlucky, but also you want to kind of look at the lineup and see overall if, this was a high floor lineup. Was there a lot of chalk? Was it a chalky lineup? So like this lineup, for example, didn't cash. Alexander Madison, Devontae Adams, pretty low owned. So you don't want this many low owned players in cash games. So something to be mindful of. You got Dawson Knox, you got Devontae Adams, you got Alexander Madison. So you ate some good chalk, but you also had several low owned plays that didn't work out, like a Dawson Knox, only got you 2 points. So that hurt you. Tampa D specifically, 1% owned. Well, it got 0 points. So this could really be the difference between cashing and not cashing. So keep in mind your cash games, you're wanting to get a combination of head-to-heads, 50-50s, double ups. So just try to get a combination of those, specifically the head-to-heads, because even if you have a bad week like this, not doubling up in this massive double up, not a horrible lineup. Still scored 147 points. If you played head-to-heads, probably could have won several of your matchups and still had a not a miserable week. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my lineup decision for cash games and really what I did that kind of last minute play that'll change my lineup overall. Now, I was very high on Anthony Richardson. He would have been my cash game quarterback. If you watch my VIP breakdown, if you're a DFS Army subscriber, you would have seen, my overall strategy with Richardson being the quarterback, and he ended up being the highest scoring quarterback, I believe, with it as far as a fantasy points per dollar range. In fact, let's see if we can find any Richardson lineups here. Yeah, so 30, he smashed. He was really who I wanted to play originally. And in fact, I think this is a pretty good cash lineup here, right? Anthony Richardson, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer. So these were a lot of our core plays, a lot of good chalk here, high floor with all these guys. And, I think this lineup kind of did pretty good, 156 points. Couple, questionable decisions here with like a Tanner Hudson and Zach Moss I definitely wouldn't play like Anthony Richardson with Zach Moss, for example, because Anthony Richardson is a rushing quarterback. So these two, I don't think correlate very well with one another. But anyways, as I was saying, Anthony Richardson was my original cash game quarterback. But once the news of Aiden O'Connell came down, I really felt like it was kind of a smash play to get a 4K running back or quarterback, in there. And, if he hits 12 points like he did, that's 3x. They don't have to do much. And this allowed me to jam in the studs. So I was able to have a Tony Pollard, to have a Christian McCaffrey in this lineup. Now, Tony Pollard didn't have the best day. Didn't really matter because Christian McCaffrey did. 51 points. You got a 60 points, 30-point average between the two. So that's what you're looking for. Kyron Williams. So, these were the three running backs that I really loved that I thought would smash and help us get there. And they certainly did. Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Adam Thielen. These are guys that I had identified as core plays, all high owned. Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, and Adam Thielen. As you can see, they're over 35% for each of them. And did enough, double-digit points for each, guys. Again, you're not trying to win a tournament with your cash line. You were just trying to beat half the field. So we certainly got there. And then even with Freiermuth, it is what it is. Players, they get hurt from time to time. And that's what happened with Freiermuth. But he was 30% on, almost a third of the field had him. So didn't really matter. He got there. And then I did like a little bit of a pay up this week because there was defense seemed to be a little tricky. And anytime you can get a defense going against a rookie quarterback, there was the rookie that I was thinking of, and DTR, I like taking that chance. And what did he do? He came in and he threw 3 picks. So I paid up a little bit for the Ravens D, got me 17 points. And really, with losing Freiermuth to injury and some of my studs not really going off, this defense was kind of another stud that I was able to pay up for because of Aiden O'Connell and hit that cash line, 163 points. So if you like this kind of content, please hit the like button. Let me know who you played in cash. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode when I do these reviews every week, because this really helps your process, just kind of looking at what's working and what's not, and mistakes that you don't want to make. If you're not a DFS Army VIP, you want to join us so that you get these cash game breakdowns. We've gone 4-0 in cash so far. So this is something I do every week. I do a VIP only cash game stream for DFS Army VIPs. You'd use code FantasyFling for 10% off a VIP subscription. That's going to do it for this week. Thank you all so much for joining me. Keep a lookout for my Millie Maker review, as I will be dropping that later today as well, when we look at what won in the Millie Maker overall week in review and a little bit of MME strategy from some top DFS pros. So best of luck this next coming week. We'll see y'all next time.